Florida Senator Marco Rubio joins us by phone from Miami. Senator, right now, what's the most important thing that people of your state need to know?
Well, a couple things, obviously. There's virtually no part of Florida that's not going to be impacted by this storm. I'm currently in my home here in West Miami, and it is an absolutely brutal storm, and we're not even in the eye of the storm. We're going to get the sustained tropical storm winds. We're getting the gusts from hurricane tornado threat. It is going to be exponentially worse everywhere from up the west coast of Florida. So if you live in Naples and Fort Myers and Sarasota in the Tampa Bay region, this storm has the potential to be that sort of worst-case scenario that meteorologists and emergency planners dread. Obviously, you got to listen to local officials at this point. But if you are in one of those storm surge areas, it is important for you. There's still a chance to get out to heed those warnings. This is not going to turn. It's not going anywhere else. It's coming in the next few hours. You're probably feeling the effects of it already. And in many ways, as I said, this is hitting the west coast of Florida is the worst possible route this thing could have taken.
In your neighborhood, Senator, there's been a lot of worry about senior centers, about hospitals, areas where people can't get out of the way of this. What can you tell us about how those are holding up, and are they ready for a storm of this size?
Yeah, the good news is we have been able to, for days now, message on this in the southeast coast of Florida. Now, that doesn't mean some people stubbornly didn't stay behind, and gosh, we're worried about them. And if you're in Key West or anywhere in the Florida Keys, I mean, we're going to find out. Hopefully not too many people stayed, as I hope what we're going to find out, because it doesn't look very good for them down there no matter what they did. There's probably no safe place to be. I am concerned about southwest Florida. I'm deeply concerned about the Tampa Bay region because they have not got the warnings really only started to be amplified Friday night for them. And so even as late as last night, we were talking to people we know personally and others about the need to move. And it's been so long since the Tampa Bay region has had a storm that some people perhaps have no memory or have of what it's like to be through one of these. You can't hide from the water. That's our biggest fear. And by the way, storm surge doesn't come until the storm passes. So it's a long time event. And we are concerned about it, but I know our local officials have been working hard to move people. The problem we have is there's nowhere to move. The whole state is being impacted by this.
Senator, you and I have talked over the years about trust in government and people losing faith in their government. Do you see any of that? I mean, are people not taking things seriously because either because of crying wolf or because they've lost faith in voices of authority on these kinds of things?
No, I can't say that in this case. I really can't. I think that people really have responded. You see an enormous number of people have acted. It was the most massive evacuations, I think, in the history of the state. For sure, millions of people have moved. And I think coming in the aftermath of those images from Harvey, people have really jumped on it. So I think the bigger concern that we have is it's a very unique situation. The whole state is impacted. A lot of the relief efforts are being directed from places that now themselves are in the path of the storm. And we had a lot of people, for example, that left South Florida, that drove to Orlando, they're in Tampa, or who are now figuring out, maybe I need to go back to Miami or something, or Fort Lauderdale or Palm Beach. This is no time to be on the road. This is a very unique storm because of its size and scope. You usually say that there's some safe place in the state you can go to. In this particular case, virtually the entire state is being impacted by the storm.
All right, Senator, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much. Stay safe.